All right, hello everyone. It's mysticjuicer back with some more Yomi action. This is more Lum's Lucky Lottery action. Me versus flagrantangles in round 4. And yeah, I think I just pressed record a little bit late on this one, so we're not getting character select. Not that it matters because we randomly roll our characters in this format. And so hence why we're playing Argargarg versus Persephone. And wow, that is a heck of a barrier soul. Tough stuff for me for sure. 2 counters, which can be pretty good. Again, countering barrier souls are pretty nice. Puts the barrier souls on the bottom of Persephone's deck, where it is much more difficult for her to get at them. Yeah, so how do we deal with that? Well, the ideal play there would have been for me to throw, for him to do something that loses to throw, like dodge, as he did, and me to power up from my deck for an ace to save those counters. So unfortunately, that is not going to end up happening. Or actually, no, yeah, there was no normal draw, so I do get to save them. Shuffle those back in. He does get his 10 back, though, so he gets to do it again. Picks up some 8s this time, so we're going to be stuck on in a difficult position against throws. Flagrantangles, what did he get back? He got a single ace back from his discard. Oh no, he powered up 2 kings. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to try to start tracking what he's got. Did get the knockdown, so he does get to grab something. Oh yeah, he grabbed the 10. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm just going to play around. Well, actually, yeah. So he got single ace. So throw is kind of discouraged, because like especially wake up throw is kind of discouraged. Because if you just play single ace, that's really deadly. However, he knows I have single ace of my own, so just blocking his singleton ace is actually very good. So he doesn't really want to, he's discouraged from playing into it that way. He doesn't know that I've got blowfish spikes. So I've got that in the chamber. I've got to be very wary of how often I throw in this matchup. Because if I play too many of my 8s, too many of my 7s, I can be stuck in a position where he just has dominant throws forever, and I've got to really, really be careful. So I've got 3 8s in the discard already. I am probably never going to play the 7 as an ability, just because it's going to be so important to have at least a throw that beats king, as that is 8.0 speed. So tricky stuff. Luckily, we get some knockdown, and he is stuck in a kind of an awkward hand. He's got 4 cards in hand, so he's got to look for knockdown. If I can ever get a bubble shield up, that's going to be really, really good for me. I do have a gold burst to protect myself from single ace. But I do want to be wary about attacking much in neutral. The fact that I have the bubble shield known in hand is going to encourage him to throw a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and gold burst this. He's going to probably take the knockdown. Yeah. So at least we don't take any damage. He does get cards back, though. We draw another 7, which is very good. Picks up a 2. So again, threatening cross up 2. Cross up 2 is not a tremendous threat. I'm more worried about looping blocks, so I'm more worried about dodge throw mix-up. So if I don't know, if I think he doesn't have a 7, wake up 7 is actually pretty good. I think a throw is fairly likely. Oh, okay, no, went for the dodge. So that's good. So wake up 7 would have worked. Would have been good. Still a pretty good position in terms of life. We do have to contend with against a character with both dominant throws and a really strong single ace. Luckily, we block a queen. That is very, very nice for us. So we are safe this turn, on this next turn, from any single ace plays, because it does need to deal damage for Mistress's command to take effect. Throwing with the 7 is therefore very tempting for me. It only really loses to some like crazy duffs. Well, he's got the queen. Yeah, easy come, easy go. So luckily we don't take the 9 damage at least. That's pretty good. We've still got double ace. Still deal him another 2. Drawing ever closer to Blowfish Spike's lethal, potentially. So 2 kings, 1 7 in the discard, 4 cards in his hand. Go for the 7th throw. We'll catch a 5 block, which is nice. Going to cash in some damage here. 14. Put him down to 27 and continue maintaining this life lead. We have a potential play of 7 throw into 5 attack Blowfish Spikes or just raw Blowfish Spikes. Although with that low a hand, it's very likely that he would go for a block in that position. Or Wake Up Queen. Wake Up Queen is also pretty good, I'm told. Okay, we get another block. Let's try to prevent him from being able to play for as much as possible. Yeah, no reason to extend into that Joker. Keeping him at 4 cards or 5 cards is more than enough of a combat win. So if we think he's going to do anything aggressive, we can ace-ace here. Or we can play a more conservative queen that just basically loses to his queen. Yeah, try to get some chip in. At this point, he desperately needs to knock down. I mean, luckily for him, Persephone wants to knock down anyway. So it's not impossible for him to continuously loop. Like, unlike other characters, Persephone can actually magic pixel Argagarg. You know, she just has to be correct all the time, but that's how Persephone wins or loses anyway. She's either really, really correct or she dies. So, you know, no huge change either way there. Yeah, the decision is really just ace block or ace ace. And it all depends on whether I think he's going to throw or dodge. Now that I've got the Joker, playing an attack heavier range is also opened up to me. Yeah, I'll just accept the counter and then counter again, I think. No reason to really let this go. Yeah, I don't want to give him any additional information of what could be left in my hand, depending on what he pulls out of the deck. So I'd much rather just counter it. I'm paying 10 life probably would have been okay, but I want to try it. Like, my life lead is actually a very good resource right now. So the longer he is incorrect, the better off I am. Dodges the Blowfish Spikes. Immediately play the Joker. Save another 10 hit points. We do get knocked down though. So this could be an awkward spot. Gets the 10 back. Still know he's got single ace. So potential that he could reveal a 7. And I'd rather not let that happen. So very likely he knows that his ace-ace is the dominant option if he has it. He's only powered up for 1 card though, for 1 ace, I should say. So we're going to try to get him with another dodge. And we do. And this one we're definitely going to follow up, I think. Yeah, okay. Because I think he had spent at least one joker. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, game one goes to us. He gets an opportunity to pick whether he wants to switch or whether I should switch. Okay. Yeah, again, I really like the format of this tournament. I didn't realize until I've played the format before, but I didn't realize just how much relief you can feel playing in this format, not having to play counterpick games from the first double blind. It's actually really, really nice. I like it a lot. So this, I think, should be Argagarg favored, just because Gwen essentially has twice as hard of a time dealing with her innate. She essentially pays 4 health to draw 2 cards every turn. Yeah, gets the first turn 7 throw, gets the knockdown, catches my greedy ace. Please enjoy. Immediate power up. So 7 cards in the next turn. So essentially same as start. I'm just knocked down and a little bit poorer in terms of hit points. Unlikely that he would go for a throw on this second turn. Instead goes for the cross-up attempt. And yeah, I've got 1 ace in the discard, so fairly low odds that I would have a second one. So he's just going to cash this in as quickly as possible. Bit of a spaghetti Gwen combo there. Still, any damage is good damage when you are perpetually dying every turn. Got a couple of good combat options here. 2s are actually quite nice. They're gonna, I mean, he's gonna blow me up with 2s if he has them, or kings if he has them. So that's unfortunate. And he goes up to full health here, which is also unfortunate. Don't have the 10 to be able to counter that, which is slightly sad. Luckily, he heals 6 and takes 4, so those 10s, don't do a tremendous amount for him. Should hold on to the 5s. They're lousy combat reveals anyway, unless we're going to block here. But I think holding on to the 5s to be able to power up for aces is far better. We get undercut with a 2. Got 7 cards in hand. This could be bad. Yeah. And 15 damage combo for 4 cards is, yeah, I'm not too mad at that. Yeah, I guess I'm holding on to the 5s because they're good. Like, I can tack them on after winning combat with a king, but am I really going to win combat with a king? He's gotten a lot of mileage off of that first throw. He's essentially not thrown since then, and has just been lighting up my my bad attacks with his very good attacks. Okay, there we go. Get the single ace. See if we can tempt him into throwing a little bit here. We got triple king as a reveal, or just king into queen is very good. See if he takes the bait. He does. All right, we've got a chance now. See if we can not die. We take 1. He's going to take 6 every turn that we keep this bubble shield up. More importantly, we get a lot of safety here. Yeah, difficult choices to make. Any throw he reveals is going to win. If he attacks again, it's going to win if I attack. So it's still rock, paper, scissors. It is at least weighted in our favor a little bit. Yeah, plays the other queen. Really have not had much success at all with these with these bubble shield turns. We do at least get, 4 damage on the board. Pick up double ace. Opportunity to make something happen again. He's played 2 queens so far. I'm hoping he'll think I'm desperate. He does think I'm desperate. We'll get the throw in here. Okay. Failed to cash out a little bit of damage there, unfortunately. Still, 10 damage throws are pretty good, I've heard. 5 attack is very greedy. Although, again, it's how much he respects ace-ace, or how much he thinks that I'm actually just going to block here. He has played 2 queens. It's possible he doesn't have any more. Again, though, kings really blow me up. Okay, we get lucky. Probably going to face down here again. 5-6 jack is just too tempting to go for. So luckily he does not have the joker. So that is 22 damage after hex and her innate. So we've equalized the life totals. Basically living in fear of wake up king or just neutral king. 3 queens are in the discard, so I really don't have to worry about that. He's spent an ace and hasn't powered up for any more yet. So I'm not too worried about that either. Don't know offhand how many throws he's played. Okay, we go block, block. That's a very important block, block. It's going to put us in a bit of a life lead situation. But again, 11 card Gwen, and I don't have a joker. This is still a very dicey situation. Could potentially go for single ace block here and then power up the 9s for the other aces. Okay, very important dodge. I'm going to spend the queen here or the 9. Okay, yeah, jokered. I don't want to spend ace-ace. That's a very important spacing tool. With 3 queens in the discard, it's probably the dominant attack, so I want to hang on to that for as long as possible. Protective Ward could be very good from this spot, so it's a matter of whether I want to play it now or if I want to hang on to it later. This is giving me a free opportunity to get some damage if I want to. Oh no, a ward. I think 9 throw is the smartest thing for me to do here. It only really loses to Dash Gorger. Anything else is going to deal at most, 7 damage? So a poke is what he needs to play, but again, that plays into just me playing just Bubble Shield, which can be very scary. Okay, there we go. We take 7. It's fine. This is fine. Still at 33. We can't be killed with a throw. He is going to go down to 25. We deal 20 damage with Blowfish Spikes, so we're very, very close to killing him. But yeah, definitely still a tense game. It would be much more tense for me if he was powering up for aces. Okay, a bit of internet issues for Flagrant Angles. The true Yomi warrior. Dude plays out of off of library internet because he doesn't have the internet at home, and is doing incredibly well in tournaments right now. Dude is beasting. So huge shout outs to Flagrant Angles for just being a stone cold badass. Okay, we're gonna dodge here because it's the least scary thing we can do. There are a lot of throws in his discard, so I'm hoping we can live through this. Just gonna toss anything we possibly can onto the pile here. Pretty much has to follow this up with damage, and he does. Luckily, it's not into ace-ace. He is going to get single to ace back, though, so Dash Gorger is definitely a potential play. I'm actually very happy to see those sixes into the discard here. I'm going to check his discard one more time. I essentially have to live one more turn. Because he's at 21 hit points, so if I hit him with Blowfish Spikes, he'll be at 1 after both the innates, and I just need to live one more turn. So I'm going to throw, apparently. I did not realize that, okay, that was my decision on this one. Yeah, no real reason not to follow up. I'm just as dead to anything on the next turn. If I don't... He's at 4, so he can kill off of throw. I don't have the other Joker, but basically the check I'm making is how many dodges does he have left? And the answer is like 5, like 5 dodges. He's got half his deck in his hand, so I'm just banking on him not having the dodges. Queen doesn't kill, so I don't need to worry about queen. Essentially, my ace-ace beats his queen. So I just need to not lose to a dodge here. And luckily, yeah, he went for raw Dash Gorger. If I have the Joker, yeah, if I have the Joker, I guess he's just boned. If I have ace-ace, so not a bad idea to go for Dash Gorger there. In case I don't have the Joker and I try to go for block, which is the safer play if I don't have the Joker. Yeah. So we're up 2-0. We're in a good spot. And we had another matchup against a character that I am at least familiar with playing. So I feel like this is going to... I feel relatively comfortable just starting off. Right off the bat, I'm feeling okay. I'm hoping my... the experience I have against Valerie is going to serve me well. I open kind of like a nut. I'm hoping that he is going to play the matchup very conservatively, which is to block a ton as Valerie, because you need to block a lot as Valerie. This could be dicey if he opens up with a big combo, but I think blocking is just fine here. I'm going to block with the 5, even though it breaks my straight. Because Valerie's just really like going for odd cross-ups, usually, in the opening bit. Even against Argagarg, I haven't shown that I've got an ace yet, so, it's a difficult spot. Take the chance, essentially, is the reasoning there. Okay, so... he's at a fairly low hand size, so I am essentially going to play block against him and hope that he doesn't know to block a lot as Valerie, because that's really the only way he's going to be able to punish that. His throws, so long as he's using his throws to set up cross-up attempts, then that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so against early game Valerie, blocks are very safe because she can only really win off of throws by knocking you down, like not following up, and then trying to beat you on a combat reveal. So yeah, so I'm just playing around. I'm just gonna allow myself to lose the throws. That's the decision I've made. I'm gonna sit back in this bubble. He's been breaking it a lot by playing normals of various kinds. or by playing reversals of various kinds, basically immediately. And I've been getting bamboozled with that a lot. So I'm going to play a more conservative range here. I do have to keep in mind that Valerie does have ways of punishing the same color block 2 turns in a row, which I think he does here. No, he goes for the queen instead. But you know, that's a mix-up that I have to deal with, and it's a mix-up he also has to deal with. I could just should block the same way, and he tries to anticipate a shift, and then he can get into trouble that way as well. So I think generally the best way to play around that is just to block with the best block in your hand, and that will naturally kind of tend to shift around as you draw new cards. 13 cards in hand. I don't really have anything to dodge into that I really value, so I'm just going to go ahead and block instead. So we get tossed, we take no damage, we do get knocked down. We're going to take this opportunity to power up, I think probably the jacks, or maybe 3s and 4s, or maybe nothing, and we just use a protective ward. Okay, no, nothing at all. Yeah, so this is fine because I have the Joker as backup. So even if he, crosses up my my block, I'm completely safe. I can go for a bluff as well, see if he wants to bait something. Okay, goes for the even cross up and goes for bold strokes here. Just the 1 bold strokes. We go ahead and face down. Yeah, very, very difficult for Valerie to play around. Blue bursts are just so devastating against Valerie. They can be really, really powerful. So she has to play this very patient game for a while. Kind of like play footsies until, she manages to bait a Joker. Or just be correct, like follow through when you're able to, and when it doesn't hurt you too much to go for a Joker, or to walk into a Joker. So this is not as safe as it could be, which would much rather do this with a 10 backup, because it only will lose to a 2 attack reveal. Gonna hang on to those 7s because they are my only throws at the moment. 12 colored Valerie is probably going to get aggressive, so she's either going to play a normal attack or a normal throw. So it's just a matter of either poking out throws or doing something else crazy, like blocking. You know, that crazy thing called blocking. Okay, so we get hit with the king, undercut. I'm gonna go ahead and bluff this because it should be less damaging. Yeah, he's still playing around blue burst. Just gets the 1 ace, so we managed to maintain the Joker. We only take 19 points of damage. And because he didn't start with a normal attack and he only strung 3 normals together, he doesn't get, double ace, which would potentially be quite difficult for us to deal with. So I know he has a single ace, so I should be blocking. So I think this is usually a setup for a throw. So I'm going to go ahead and try to duff that. If I get hit, I take 10 damage. I'm relatively okay with that. Okay, he's just blocking his way up to a bigger hand. But again, in the meantime, I'm also cycling through my deck. Should probably power up those 4s, just get aces in hand. The dodges are not going to be tremendously useful. I don't really need to dodge against Valerie as much. It can be very risky to do that, actually. Her throws can be quite powerful. She can throw into 33 without using any bold strokes. So just having a 0.2 speed reversal, which is going to beat or tie all of her moves, is just fine. So I'm hoping he thinks that I'm going for a block here. Instead, hits me with another undercut 3. Now I know he has a single ace, so going for the Joker here seems very sensible. I've bluffed him essentially twice. He hasn't really cashed out big damage on the last couple of combat reveals. He still maintains the Jokers, actually, which is very good for him. Or he still maintains the aces. I mean, he does get 2 aces off of that, so if he had 2 aces to spend, it might have been better just to spend them there. On the off chance that it wasn't a Joker, since he gets them right back. But I'm not too mad at this turn of events. I've got a lot of... I've got double ace. I've got 3 jacks, which I can convert into another double ace. We've got relatively even health totals, which is very good for Argagarg, all things considered. He has not spent very many throws. That's very bold. I'm not sure exactly what my read was there. Maybe just thinking that he would respect the... Yeah, tossing the jack there seems a little unnecessary. There's no real reason to feed her additional cards. 7 additional damage isn't likely to do all that much for me. And having 3 jacks to power up for aces is pretty good. Okay, we get hit with single ace. Being aggressive with the single with throws is kind of an odd choice, I feel like. I guess I'm pressing my advantage with double ace, but still could be dicey. If he opens me up with another big normal string, although at this point he's played a lot of normals, so he might just be out of stuff like that. He still hasn't played a ton of face cards though, so I do have to worry about anything into Jack++ for 21. Okay, so unless he has 2 10s, I am going to win combat here. Very worth going for it. Do not want to lose this if I don't absolutely have to, and luckily we do not. Okay, he does not have the second Joker, or at least chooses not to play it there. So take him down to 33. Okay, now we have 3 queens. So that's pretty great. Yeah, he's spent a lot of normals. He's got 2 6s, 1 5, a couple of things like that. So he's getting low on dodges, actually, which is, I think, why I'm switching over to Blowfish Spikes. Yeah, there we go. Hit him with the BS. And nice switch from 9 throw to 7 throw there. You know, if he's leading with a 9 throw, it's probably the fastest thing he has. Why would you not lead with the fastest throw you have in the late game here? And again, just thinking, okay, well, you probably don't have a lot of dodges, so I'm just going to go ahead and play Blowfish Spikes again. Yeah, so he's got 4 dodges left. Difficult position for him, for sure. He has to block this, take 4, and then try to mount a comeback. But nope, that's going to do it. So we are up 3-0. Feeling pretty comfortable. Lots of good ARG shenanigans. And he gets another opportunity to re-roll. Chooses himself. And we'll move into match point for me. Okay, Argagarg Mirror. Tough stuff, and no throws in our opening hand. So this is, yeah, this is tough. Kind of a crapshoot. Mirrors are particularly difficult and particularly challenging, I feel like. So I am not a very strong ARG player. I feel like I play, I mean, most characters, if you play them at an okay level, I think the mirror is probably one of the most uncomfortable matchups that you can possibly encounter. Even if you're in a bad matchup, you at least probably know why it's bad. You've probably played it a couple of times because people are likely to counterpick you with the worst matchup for your character. So you should have some idea of how your bad matchup plays. But you can get really inside your own head about playing against a character that has the exact same tools that the character you're playing has. So this will be interesting. So far we've done nothing but block and deal ourselves hex damage. I've got a straight, but again, he's been so heavy on ace block that I'm very discouraged from playing it. I'm essentially waiting for a throw of my own. He finds the throw first and the courage to play it. Dealing that grappler 14. Still no throws. Yeah, we switch to the other ace that we have. So far, yeah, exactly. Again, I wish I could counterpoke some stuff here. But right now, that just, yeah, it's tough. I mean, the higher my hand size gets, the more he's going to be encouraged to go for blocks because, again, you get most of your combat damage, your most efficient and your most powerful combat damage, typically off of attack starters. Which is why blocking is so very, very good and why you need to mix throws into your game plan in order to be successful at Yomi. So again, we're just going to try to wait our way into a better hand here. Okay, he blinks first, goes for the dodge. The dodge is kind of interesting. It could imply he's either got no good throws or that he has bubble shield, because bubble shield is, fairly, what else are you going to dodge into as Argagarg? What deals a tremendous, like, really good damage? Maybe a queen. Maybe you want to dodge into your queens in this matchup. I'm actually not very certain. And unfortunately, we get hit. Yeah, we begin to drown first. So block now definitely in his favor. It was in his favor as soon as he won the first combat because he then had the life lead, but definitely in his favor now. I'm hoping he goes for some attack spam here. Luckily he does, so we get to equalize this at least. Definitely want to power up. Probably the 4s. So they are the most efficient way we can get 2 aces. Although they are at least dodges, so maybe hanging on to those is okay. Because right now we will lose checkmate situations. Like we could be in checkmate situations in the late game if we get to a all blowfish spikes all the time situation. We are going to be the ones that will lose on those exchanges and therefore should be doing some stuff. Yeah, we need to conserve dodges essentially is what I'm saying. Okay, again, I blink first. He's just playing very, very safe stuff here. Luckily, we don't take any damage off of that, but we do lose a 7 throw, which is very unfortunate. Don't have queens of our own to play. So I'm hoping he just respects me, but I realize now, like, not playing... The queen is the card to play at this instance. Yeah. or any attack would have been fine there. This is very, very, very bad. Yeah, throw into 20 because of his activated hex. And very likely this game is over. So probably what I should be doing is just play Blowfish Spikes, try to get back, at least break the bubble shield, and then, you know, power up the 5s, and I've got Blowfish Spikes again. Flagrant Angles should be playing mostly a block attack game because that is it's the most conservative possible response to this, and it forces me to throw, which I think has already been kind of shown to you know, that I'm stuck in a difficult position vis-a-vis having throws in hand. Say nothing of the fact that landing them at all is pretty good, or pretty difficult for me to do right now. Yeah, he's got a 40 hit point life lead, and I'm just not getting any luck in terms of the way combat reveals are going. Yeah, another throw into 20. This beastly grappler damage. Yeah, and this is GG. There is no way out from here. I essentially would need to knock him down for the rest of the game, and Argagarg is pretty bad at that. Already spent a ton of throws trying to achieve it. He can essentially just go block for the rest of this game, and he should be fine. Yeah, so this should be GG very, very shortly. So the only way I can win is either throw or dodge into throw. If he has a 7 throw, he can play it now and just guarantee lethal. There is no way I can beat a 7 throw. So he doesn't have it, but he doesn't need to. That is a commanding Argagarg versus Argagarg match. So I don't like playing against Argagarg except with very specific characters. So I'm going to go ahead and ask him to re-random. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so still on match point, but Flagrant Angles is still in this. Yeah, I do love most of the mirrors in this game are fairly good and interesting. They're very challenging. They can be very challenging anyway. The more complex the character becomes, I feel like the more complex it becomes as a mirror as well. You get some very funny stuff happening. So let's see what we random him into. Okay, random into Zane. This can be tough. It's definitely tough. So why is this bad for Argagarg? Well, Argagarg struggles against any character that has dominant throws, which Zane has. He struggles against characters with good damage off of any combat reveal, which Zane absolutely has. And he struggles against characters who have a something that beats 2.4 speed attacks. And Zane has that off of his 2. So Zane's footsies beat Argagarg, his damage beats Argagarg. He's got a knockdown. His vortex is off his knockdown, which puts Argagarg in a difficult situation. So it's just generally a bad scene. Okay, hoping to catch a 5 throw there with that 2. Do have to, and the other thing too, I have to balance protecting myself against throws in the early and mid game with losing to Anarchy in the late game if he just continuously blocks. So I'm hoping the 2 causes him to go in with a 2. Unfortunately, that is not the case. He's just blocking up a storm, which is very, very saddening. Do have double ace, but we need that for our reversal game. We've got a 12 card Zane here. So his Argagarg's King is actually kind of a nice move. It at least covers against 3 attack. It still gets blown up by twos. Yeah, there we go. There's that interaction. And this is a 12 card Zane. Yeah, we dump the king as well, which is not a great option, I think. Definitely should have hung on to the king. We would have king into 5/6, which is very good damage. King into ace-ace is also very good damage. Instead, we're going to get lit up by this combo. Luckily, he does not have the jack to tag onto it, but still, 18 damage off of a 2. He's still at 12 cards on this next turn. Difficult stuff. So the question is, does Zane have another 2? Or should we poke out a potential 5? And just any combat loss is going to be very difficult to deal with. Okay, good. Poke out a 5. We get to equalize things a little bit. Combo into a 6 at least. 13 damage. Again, don't want to spend those aces just because otherwise I have no reversal option when I do get knocked down. And I will get knocked down. There is a guarantee that there will be at least one turn where I am knocked to the ground. So again, back in neutral, is it going to be a 2 attack or is it a 5 throw? Feeding Zane a lot of cards. And we start the power-ups. Okay, we've got Joker at least. That'll be good for eating up a combat loss off of a normal attack, hence why I'm probably going to feel comfortable. Probably should just attack with the 3, to be quite honest. Oh, okay. Well, that worked out nicely. Never mind. Never mind, past me. You did good. Yeah, no reason not to follow this up. If he's got the Joker, I don't know why he would be spending it there anyway. We got ourselves a bit of a life lead. That is nice, at least. But there's the wages of our poke-heavy game in the early game. All those blocks have successfully come home to roost. So we can block, we can jack, or we can ace-ace is essentially our option. And we get lit up with a wake-up 5. Yeah, just passing seems fine. The worst he could do is 9 into jack or just ace-ace, but at least ace-ace would get rid of the aces in his hand. So he's not going to be that friendly. He's going to give us the 6 into knockdown. So using the 6 is interesting there. It does imply that he doesn't have any 9s, which you would prefer to tag on there. He only has 6s and 2s as even cross-ups. So going for the odd block here. This is a very good position to 6 or 2 attack from. And yeah, beautifully done by flagrantangles. Lights me up. Gonna go ahead and Joker this because he's got a 10-card hand and hit me with a normal attack. So he's got 3 combo points to work with, where he ordinarily only has 2 off of a throw. Wow, so had 3 6s in hand. He's already, see, flagrantangles is already building that Zane cadence. Hitting me with the U right. Oh man, that's classic. That's classic Zane. That is possibly the classic Zane. All right, again, retaining the aces, which is fairly devastating. 40 hit points to 50 hit points. A lot of poking I need to do. That's the other thing that makes this quite difficult for Argagarg is You just need to win way more combats than Zane does generally. And that's never a good place to be. So ordinarily Argagarg kind of wins because he is very damage efficient. He can afford to be aggressive at all stages and all hand sizes. But yeah, can be a very difficult spot. I need to be playing a much heavier block attack game. Yeah, I'm trying to mix in some throws here because he is still blocking occasionally. But unfortunately, Shenanigans not being very kind to me either at this point. Definitely I would be following up because I've got the Jack. Yeah, at least the Jack comes out. Get another knockdown, and I'm at exactly 25 hit points, so throw into Ace will be lethal now. I should consider using the 7 here, yeah. Good stuff. I should very much consider just blocking here, because again, he has spent 3 6s, and at least 1 2, so he should be out of even attacks. Yep, and there we go. Hits me with the other 5. So he's down to 1 dominant rank of throws. He's only got the 7. Yet another difficult thing to deal with. I've now got to worry about dodge into Ace. Or just raw Ace is also lethal. Yeah, get beaten by the 8th throw. And that is going to be GG very likely. Flipping the 7 means that he can probably finish this off without needing to dip into the Ace pool. 7 into Jack. Yeah, that will do it. Okay, so the comeback is definitely happening here. Yeah, he's got to win 2 more. I've got to try to win 1 before he does that. So yes, definitely don't want to leave him on Zane. I don't want to play a random character against Zane. Same as I didn't want to play a random character against Argagarg. I would much rather play Argagarg against a random character. And yeah, this seems like a pretty fun matchup. I think I think this is where things take a bit of a turn. I remember vaguely having memories of this particular match being kind of difficult and some questionable decisions being made. So generally, opening turn, you want to be worried about 2. You have to be worried about first turn king, though. King throw could be very strong. We have kind of a limited set of pokes. So when we get knocked down, we've got a limited answers to the king mix-up. So only Ace beats both sides of the king. When we're in neutral, we've only got the queens and Ace to beat his 2 pokes. So those are also kind of a challenge. It's at least a fairly good trade. We have a higher health total than he does. He doesn't get the 2 back, so that's good as well. So far so good. Pick up a single ace, so that's nice as well. So probably going to play single ace here just in case he's found a random other 2. Okay, he found a 3. So we get an opportunity to get some stuff going here. He does get the 3 back. We have a 2 attack to be able to answer the 3. So it is, I think it's a 50-50 between attacking with the 2 or just blocking with a 9, or actually with throwing. If he's playing kind of cagey, if he doesn't want to potentially walk into an attack, just dodging here seems relatively fine. He is at a relatively high hand size. Going to go a bit higher now as well. So the throw would have been the more successful option. Still, we're doing okay. We're whittling down his health total a little bit. We're building up a nice hand of cards, so we're going to be able to power up for ace-ace if we ever get knocked down. We're doing all right. So we don't have answers to 3-poke anymore, hence the dodge. Okay, he dodges with the 3. So that's out of the way. Nice to see that gone. Pick up a 2. So 2 is a nice option here. It doesn't lead into much of anything, but again, it deals 6 damage. Okay, nice. Duff a 7 throw. That's very good. See what we draw. Get a king. Yeah, I'd definitely follow this up. Just try to close this game out as quickly as possible. He's already at a huge hand size, so I'm not really... I don't want to get him... I'm not gaining anything from him, like from me allowing a bluff. At this point, he's got to power up or discard cards anyway. Not sure why would we be blocking with the 9 instead of the ace. Oh, actually, no, that's true. That's true. Never mind. That's a very silly thing to say. I forgot I was still in hex. Haven't yet lost combat. Okay, there we go. So we get hit with the king. I'm going to go ahead and counter this, so at least I don't have to deal with that king anymore. So we have ways of at least minimizing the claw mix-up. Okay, immediate power up for single ace. This is where things could get very dicey. Could consider powering up the 5s. I should check my discard just to see what blocks I have used. If I've got, you know, a particularly high number of 6s or 8s in the discard. The 3 is a pretty hard read on another king throw. It pretty much only beats king throw. Yeah, instead get lit up with king attack. That's something I almost never see Vendetta players use, so I'm really shocked to see it happen. Like, take a second to like, whoa, what? You can do that? You can actually poke with kings? This is madness. Yeah, like, at least the read was right. I just, you know, read the wrong side. So we're at least going to get rid of the king. Very likely that they're going to follow this up with ace-ace. Yeah, there we go. 30 damage. So very rough to take that combo. Very card efficient as well. Still at 11 cards. But he's only at 44, so potentially, you know, Blowfish Spikes into a little bit of time into another Blowfish Spikes definitely could clean this up. We do have another bubble shield, so could potentially get something going there. I don't know why I'm so terrified of him throwing me. Just feels a little off. And he's getting a lot of mileage off of just dodge. We have another king. No. Tumbling strike for 20. Still pretty deadly. Putting me at 31. So 3 8s. Can't probably really power those up because I do want to hold on to them for possible throwing purposes once there's no ace-ace in my hand. Ugh. Yeah, just really rough exchanges there. Two lost combat reveals with attacks in a row, and he makes the switch into throw here, expecting that I would go for either a throw or a block or blodge. Pretty much have to power up here. I'm very, very scared of kings. Why? Why? We can probably win with a single throw, to be quite honest. Oh, okay, okay. All right. I like that more, at least. Pick up the third ace. All right, so it's wake up ace ace or block or throw. In retrospect, right now I'm tempted to wake up throw, just because he has been respecting blowfish spikes. There's no reason for him really not to respect blowfish spikes. It's so risky for him not to. Okay, yeah. Unless he's got a counter, in which case the 2 actually makes a lot of sense. It beats everything that I could have played except for the 8 block. So nicely done on his part. Yeah, and that's going to do it. So beautiful play there. If he had the... I went on low enough hand that... having the 10 was kind of dicey. I think I can't remember how many 10s I'd gone through in the rest of the game. So yeah, difficult spot. And yeah, I think playing a random character against Vendetta feels all right to me. It might have been fine just to continue playing Argagarg. At this point, I was just thinking, okay, he's getting a fairly good read on the way that I'm playing Argagarg, so maybe let's switch to a different character and see what we can make happen. All right, we start off with Grave, which is great. This is generally a very good matchup for Grave. I'll get into why. Yeah, difficult way to start this match off. Yeah, only the Jack really hides how bad our hand is. I desperately want a block. Desperately want a block. The 5 attack is a very strange opener. Heavily implies he doesn't have a 2 or a 3, but now that we've got the 9, I think just blocking up with the 9 is the play to make here. We definitely don't want to throw with it, because if we follow up into kings, which is the only reasonable follow up, we're in a spot of trouble. So we're just gonna do some blocking. Doesn't seem like he has a great hand, but our hand doesn't support going in against him. And he can potentially just get a lot more value off of random combat wins than we can. I don't really like the 3 as an attack, but I guess it covers against throws. It kind of gives him an impression that we don't have a great hand, which is correct, which is actually factual and real. We can power up those kings for immediate True Power of Storms, but True Power of Storms is going to be difficult to land in this matchup. The reason that it is Grave advantaged generally is that he has a lot of good... So his kings kind of dominate neutral. Single ace is very good at dominating neutral. Raw True Power of Storms. Vendetta typically is immune to raw supers because of his acrobatics. But because Grave has a counter, raw super is actually pretty effective, or can be pretty effective in this matchup. So going in with a throw, he has been blocking pretty heavily, but again, bad timing on the throw here. Gets us with 3 into some big damage. 29 right off the bat is not the way I want to start this game. Again, I don't really want to power up the kings yet either, because they are good damage off of throws, and I have a high enough hand size now that it could be, all right to use them. I could start considering them just as combat starters. Yeah, the throws. I don't really like the throws from this position, just because I've kind of indicated that I've got an awkward hand. I went Jack into 3. So he's just playing 3s because he doesn't need to respect the fact that I have, a 2 to undercut, because I would have led the 2 if I had it. So instead, we get bopped with another 3 face down. At least we don't take too much damage for that. We do have a joker, so we can... I want to kind of hold on to that for potential dodge into ace-ace or dodge into triple ace in the late game, or later in the game at least for throws. So I should be blocking a little bit more. With a 12 card hand, I do have to be worried about dodges. Again, I've thrown twice and been bopped for it. So now I think, okay, no, could have gotten away with the third throw. Glad I didn't lead with the kings at least. So I get to hang on to that. Difficulty 2 with leading king is, what do you follow it up with? Do I go king into king, king, king? Like, okay, I dealt 28. Now what? What do I do? What do I do with the rest of my garbage hand? Okay, 7th throw. Just gets the knockdown. Looks like he's got sort of an awkward hand as well, or he's got kings. Gets single ace, so we know that he can't have triple ace. Queen is the obvious play. I have generally not done the obvious play in our previous matches, so I'm hoping he gives me the benefit of the doubt and does not dodge here, but he does. I was hoping he would go in, but instead we take some hurt here. I'm gonna face down again. I don't know what. I don't know if I agree with all these face downs. I've been doing it enough that he probably thinks I don't have it. So now would have been maybe the time to just play the Joker. Still stuck on an essentially a 2-card hand. The only thing I can do is block or throw into king king, and neither of those things is particularly great. I'm hoping I can counter throw a non-7, so that works out at least. Yeah, again, can't follow up, don't have anything to follow it up with. Okay, power up for True Power of Storms. Hopefully we can fish for something here. I desperately need... Okay, so now I have potential True Power of Storms set up. I've got the second Joker. That was exactly the wrong card to get rid of. I needed a face card to be able to deal with acrobatics. He doesn't really matter because he has 3 acrobatics and 3 dodges, so he can potentially do it 3 times in a row. But yeah, definitely needed to hold on to that jack. Now, the nice thing is I can potentially just play single ace here and then Joker on my next turn. Or like Gold Burst on a following turn to fill my hand back up. And I'm at least controlling the neutral now with single ace. So my decision is basically block, reversal of some kind. But with 3 acrobatics, I really should probably be playing at least single ace here. Wake up throw is just very strong, and there we go. So he does have a jack, so I do need to Joker this. Taking the knockdown is very smart. He has nothing but odd cross-ups. He does have some dodges, though. He does still have the jack, so wake up 2 isn't completely safe. But unless he hits me with the jack, this should be fine. But again, with this much of a life lead, dodges become very safe. Yeah. Found a random king. Yeah, that's really, really rough. So desperately needed wake up king, or wake up ace there. We at least live because we got the second Joker. And we finally get... So he's he pumped that with a couple of dodges. The 10 and the 3. He's still got the 1. But if we can find a second 10, we're potentially... we can potentially hit True Power of Storms. Still going to be very difficult. He definitely still has 3 8s. I do need to start playing aces in neutral. I've got to contend with a king, or potentially dodge into king is also a difficult situation. If I think he's going to block, I can potentially use jacks to get in there. But yeah, things are dicey right now. Okay, counter throw the king. That's very important. We can throw into jack, potentially. Okay, choose not to do that. This at least shuts down the dodge. Playing single A is very difficult here. I would much rather just the jack, I think. If I get hit with a 2, I lose, but... Yeah, okay, queen is fine too, I guess. Okay, queen pays off. We get him to 43, so he's at least in lethal range of 2 Power of Storms. We know he's got at least 1 joker. We now have 2 counters, but not 2 face cards. So that's unfortunate. I've spent all of our kings. I've spent a fair amount of our... no, the single ace is the wrong thing. Yeah, I feel like the only way out we have here is just surprise 2 Power of Storms with 2 counters backing it up. But again, benefit of hindsight. It's possible that he feels too worried, like he wants to conserve. Right now, the most valuable card in his hand is a dodge. And if he's only got a single dodge... Yeah, then we can run into a situation like this. So the question is, do I think he has another dodge? That's what it should inform my decision. Lightning Cloud is basically a reversal. Dodges are very strong for him right now, at least, because he cannot acrobatics. He has at least 1 acrobatics left. So at this point, True Power of Storms would be like a realistic combat reveal. We could potentially take the game off of a raw T-Pos. Fortunately, we no longer have it. Tried to spend it winning combat. Still have single ace left, so I'm hoping that will convince him to dodge. Instead, we get it with a 2. We've got both of our jokers, so no point bluffing. Okay, not dead yet. Still have a chance to make some stuff happen here. Not much in the way of wake-up options. If he's got a king, he plays at attack side and wins. If he thinks I have a queen, he should be dodging here. But again, with 1 remaining acrobatics, if he has that... Okay, luckily, Wake Up 10 throw works. It's lit, fam. It is demonstrably lit. Yeah, no face down there. Or it gets the face down on a successful bluff there. Any 2 he draws has a very high likelihood chance of killing me. Blocking is very strong in case I potentially play the ace. Although he has woken up with like queen and stuff, so he is at least, you know, taking some risks. There we go. Yeah, the question is, should we counter this or not? I elected not to, because at least on the next turn... at least on the next turn, I've got a... I've got another very strong throw setup. I have damage off of throws. I've got dodges. It's a rough spot, but again, my attacks are going to beat basically any attack he plays. Okay, there we go. Could have gotten another throw in. But he is running lower on dodges. So we have 2 throws spent, 2 queens spent, I believe. He has 3 7s in the discard, 3 8s in the discard. So I probably have the dominant throw with the 8. He has 1 2 spent, which is ugh, gross. So we're dead to 2. Like 2s just kill us, doesn't matter. We can't play around it. We can dodge if we potentially think he has it, but yeah, and the counter 7 throw takes it. So nicely done, Flagrant Angles. He goes on to sit in winners finals, or he's sitting in winners side of grand finals. I go into the losers bracket. And I mentioned here at the end of the game, I think I had a better shot of hitting True Power of Storms than I actually did, and I kind of felt a little bit down on myself for not playing to it a little bit more. I'm not watching it again. I'm not too sure. I think probably I could have played for it if I had been a little bit more patient. Just generally, if I had played more patient in the early game, I think I could have come across or could have put myself in a better position. But yeah, I'm not mad at that. Sometimes, I mean, it's pretty hype that he went down 3-0 and then reverse all killed me. That is pretty badass. So shoutouts to Flagrant Angles for a beautifully played set. And yeah, until next time, hopefully you enjoyed the games. And until next time, enjoy yourselves some Yomi. Cheers.